You're welcome to this edition of Joy News Interactive with me, Benis Abu Bedu. Today is going to be an interesting one. We have a lot on our plate to discuss. Would you ever visit a restaurant that would give you a discount because of your bra size? Yes, there's a restaurant that does that. Get onto our Facebook page, Joy News on TV. You'll find the various issues posted there. Do well to leave your comments there. We are also live on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. I'm glad to host you. My name is Benis Abu Bedu. First on our menu is a raging issue that has seen some bigwigs of the opposition National Democratic Congress come out to state their stance openly. I'm sure you remember the opinion of Valerie Sawyer and the rebuttal by citizen vigilante Martin Amido. I'm sure you also know Obeda Samoa has also congratulated Madame Sawyer for her letter to former President Rawlings. Well, it appears the minority in Parliament isn't happy about the turn of events and is asking for a truce. Deputy Minority Leader James Kluter-Veggie said party members cannot continue washing their dirty linen in public. We posted this on Facebook and we're here to take a few of your comments. So it's time to hear what you have to say about this issue. And Abukar Majid says, as we wait for Rawlings' bombshell to Dr. Valerie Sawyer, shall we refresh ourselves with the 2016 elections? So he's given some statistics there. He says MPP 53.85% and NDC 44.40%. And Fred Brown says, and I thought they said their party was a peaceful one. Insulting your founder is a good thing, they think. And he thinks that's not too smart for them to do. But Obeda Samoa says, look, technically, you know, former President Rawlings isn't the founder of the NDC. And you can get onto our Facebook page. That interview he granted Mike Ligemefape was actually posted there. So you can just, you know, take a seat and actually listen to it and make sense out of it for yourself. Sebastian Ewufor says this kind of fight he thinks is good. It strengthens the party in opposition, especially since some of them don't know the cause of their loss. And he says, it's about time they spill the beans so that they can get new sprouts, okay? And that's what he thinks. He thinks, you know what, instead of, you know, dancing around saying this is not good, this is not good, he thinks there's actually some good in this. So, well, Kofi Erike says, when did the NDC realize that there are big cracks in their power? We now have the Mills gang, the Rawlings gang, and the Mahama gang. Who has to throw in the towel? And he's asking out of all the gangs he's mentioned. Abeku Odisika Emisa says, I quite remember these NDC people said, how can Nana rule a nation while he cannot even unite the NPP? He says he's just patiently waiting for the NDC gurus to justify their disunity. And Kuku Boy is asking, any press conference yet? I thought they would organize a press conference on that one. What's keeping them interesting? Because, you know, the opposition, especially in Parliament, have organized a few, or not a few, quite a number of press conferences to address issues regarding the governance of the country. Well, Devon Balfour says, well, he thinks that it's not a big deal. He thinks they can fight. This one says, no ceasefire until the founder takes his party back. So those were some of your comments on this. You may want to call it internal wrangling in the New Democratic Congress. Let's stay in Ghana a little longer and talk about principles. I'm sure you know how many Ghanaians revere morality, especially when it has to do with honesty. Guess what? I'm sure some of you won't believe this. 29 born-again Christians have returned their results slip to the West African Examination Council after they had confessed of engaging in examination malpractice. Now, according to them, cheating in the exam hall is a sin, noting that as born-again Christians, they've decided to tender their certificates in order to be forgiven by God. So my question to you today is, Will you return a prize because you cheated to get that prize? Let's make some of your comments here on Facebook. Interesting story there done by our sister station Adom FM. Now, German says, makes no sense to me. If they genuinely want to be honest, they should give up everything they have achieved in life as a result of cheating they did in school. With that, God may accept. But if they only return the WAEC certificate, he thinks that that's not too smart and it's quite nonsensical. Two replies to that. It would be quite interesting to know what people think about German's position on this. But Frank Parima Nawang says, I will suggest if they are working, they should all resign and hand over all other certificates. He talks about the diploma, the masters, because all post-secondary program admission requirements is based on your WAEC certificate. So let's make the replies to German's comment. Elvis Salom Alonzi says, for saying what I just intended to say, meet me at hashtag West Hills Mall for a bottle of Baltic mineral water, and German laughs at that. So Elvis says, you know what, you actually saved me the stress of typing my opinion, because exactly what you said is what I also think. Douglas Buffer says, born again Christians, well, he thinks I'm not too smart. They are too easy to influence, cheat and rob. I don't know where they throw their brains after being born again, and that's his opinion. Coded Authority Bone says, I still can't think far about this issue. We make Christianity look like a military training school, okay? And Joseph Nkrumah Boama says, if you become born again after God has forgiven all your sins, you are free to move on. I pity the one who taught them this doctrine. Sumaila Adam says, could you post those certificates here so that we can assess the gravity of what they had before we can make sensible comments? He thinks that I don't think someone with 8 A's will do that. Okay, he doesn't actually end his comments. I'm sure he decided to swallow the rest of his words. Nana Koba says, it may sound or look stupid or attention-seeking, but here's the thing, a Christian can never make progress in his or her walk with Christ if the devil is able to make him or her feel guilty for a past offense. Okay, it goes on to quote Matthew 5 and all that. But others may argue that, hey, if you've been forgiven, you've been forgiven. Why do you have to return the certificate? Mensa Abrampa says, so how are you going to return what they stole from their parents? That's easy, huh? How would they return the virginity they broke, the hearts they broke, the lies they spoke? There are loads of things you can't return. It goes beyond returning certificates that had fed them for numerous years. They should return everything the certificate gave them since 33 years or any other respective year. He says, God forgives in the heart. Okay. Joseph Nweyada says, Zacchaeus returned what he stole. If he's used that certificate for higher education, then those sets should also be returned, because they were all gotten from that cheated WASI certificate. Whatever he's used the certificate to acquire must be returned to WASI. Atidipe Hope Sian says, returning only the certificate isn't enough. Where they proceed from with their certificate must also be returned. Everything gained is right, they did that, but it should be full, not a segment of it. Very interesting comments there, but I don't know. I may have to go through this to be able to tell whether or not I would return. And that's why, honestly, I think in the first place, you should try to acquire everything through the right means, so you don't have to, go through this burden, this guilt that you'd have. Anyway, let's move on to fashion. There's this interesting trend that's coming. We've seen a lot of things in the fashion industry. We've seen fake eyelashes, but this particular one is one that has LED attached to it. You will not believe this, but this is the new trend, and quite a number of women are warming up to it, wearing LED lashes. Let's check out some of your comments on that particular one on Facebook. Trust me, I'm not sure I'm going to wear this LED lashes. But would you, if you're a woman, would you, try this? And if you're a man, would you want your woman or your mother or your sister to, maybe for lack of a better expression, rock this new LED eyelashes? Now, Joko says, this could be a perfect replacement for all the faulty traffic lights around. Just grab these girls and get them busy on our roads. Interesting one. And Nana Efia says, not at all. Is it a torchlight? She's actually laughing at her own comment. And there are 3 replies to that. I'm always interested in what people have to say about other people's comments, because then it gets the conversation going. While we wait for the replies to Nana Efia's comments, Kwabna Opong Chicheku says, I can say in my comparatively few years I've lived on earth, I've seen it all. He says, what a shock. That's how he actually types it, not what a shock. He says, what a shock. And the replies to Nana Efia's comment that she wouldn't want to wear this and asking if it is a torchlight. Tricia laughs at that particular comment, and well, unfortunately, technology is messing up with that. And we'll be bringing you more on that, because they're very interesting one, and I can't wait to hear, especially from the men, what they think about that. Would you ever want your girlfriend, your wife, your mother, your sister to do that? Well, let's hear what you have to say. But trust me, guys, I am not trying any of that. LED eyelashes, where did that one also come from? And why would you even want to wear that in the first place? I wonder. But you know, today is a Thursday, and here on Joy News Interactive, as we always do, we take you back in time. So don't go away. We'll be back shortly with our Throwback Thursday. Thank you so much for staying here on Joy News Interactive. Now, by popular request, before I bring you our Throwback Thursday item, I've been asked to take a few more comments on the LED eyelashes, because, well, we think it's quite interesting. So we'd like to hear a lot more of what you have to say about whether you would wear it and if you approve your girlfriend or mother or sister wearing it. Nadia Buxton says, I can't play such games with my eyes. The side effects could be deadly, you know. And Yem Adasumu says, hunting lighter nah. not. And Chanta Safu says, why? Is it because of Doomsoana? And says, boy. Joanna Johnson says, my dear, you will get electric shock. Emmanuel Smith says, this is Anaju Boja. And Angela Thompson says, not nice, not needed, not cool. And Chris Elupe says, total nonsense. Our girls will start using it soon. Joyce Enyonam Gavo says, what? Now your coincidence says, we will die. And she's actually laughing. And she says, what are all these? Sighs and says, ayo, that's from Juliet. And Juliet. Charles says, God save our current generation of ladies. So for those of you who are wondering what a lot of these people are commenting about, let me just show you what it really is. It's LED eyelashes. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yes, that's what it is. And that's what we are talking about. Would you wear this? Seems to be the new craze in town. It's now time to bring you Throwback Thursday item. And today we are bringing you pictures from the past. Very interesting photos there. And for those of you who are quite old, it may bring back a lot of memories. That's our Throwback Thursday item for you today.